Hello and welcome to a Nomad Bike Rider video. This is a different one, something I've been trying to make for a long time for a series called My Van or something like that anyway. But I just want to kind of eventually go through the systems or the components of the van on the build rather than a one-off van tour, you know, the typical, this is where I keep my toothbrush, this is, you know, and whatnot, and highlight the features in the van that I think are pretty awesome. I'm going to start with the most famous, as far as, you know, the one that really piques people's interest. I've probably shown my shower to tens of thousands of people, literally, for real. So we're going to start with the shower because I need to take one. I won't punish you with having that on video, but I'm going to show you how I set the shower up, where it's at, you know, where the pan is. You might have already seen that in previous videos. I can't remember now, but long story short, we're going to do the shower today. I'm going to show you how it works and why I think it's so important for van life, primarily because, well, I can't really sleep without a shower like most people. I like to be clean when I'm going to bed down for the night, and so I want to take one every day. And so Carlos is the genius behind the design of this shower, and I'm just going to dig right in and show you that basically the shower is, the pan is in the floor. So I got to come over, let's see, I don't know if you're able to see this. Let me put the camera down here, and so the rug here is so that, you know, it looks decorative and nice. And I'm going to put this back here behind the camera, and then this insert is so that you're not stepping in and out of the pan when you're using the van, the living space. So there's the shower pan. I forget the dimensions. I had it made at a shop that makes them for houses. And it was really funny because it took me forever to kind of convince the guy I didn't want the 4-inch walls that go around it. So we've got a 1-inch piece of foam, a radiant barrier, a 1-inch piece of foam, 3/4 OSB sheeting, and then the 1/4 inch of vinyl planking. So that gave us about 2 inches. The pan itself is about 1 inch, so you've got it's a very shallow pan. And so it does get a little bit wet around the edges when I use it, but I'm going to show you some of the problems that we had in the design, and which is basically just one. And then I'm going to show you how I set it up. And then after I'm done, I'll show you how I break it down. So let me grab the camera. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of show you some of the stuff here, the components that you need for. You got those are going to be used later. So these chains, and this one's marked with tape because it grabs onto the shower curtain the best, where it doubles up. So there's 5 chains. I'm going to hang them up, and then I'm going to grab the shower curtain, and I'll show you how that works. But first and foremost, I'm going to hopefully. Not very good at this. I do have the van completely open, a la many other YouTubers, so that there's plenty of light in here. But obviously when I take a shower, I'll be closing that. So those are the chains. I do need to go ahead and digress a little bit and show you where this comes into play. This is a chamois, and I put this guy down here, and you can see that there's a seam. These are the planks. I forget, they're about yay long by yay wide, and if I was going to do this again for somebody, I would not put a seam right here, because there was some water damage before I started using chamois. So what I do is I put the chamois right there like that, and then that's going to come into play later, but it keeps the water from damaging that seam that was already compromised earlier in the use of the van. So coming back up here, this is the shower curtain, and the way it works, I've got a mark here so that I always know where to start, and you just hang this up like so. I'm disappearing in front of your eyes. I bring it around, and then this guy doubles up here. And these two clips, I clip it like so to keep it so it... Now the wind is causing a problem. I've never had this experience because I normally don't have the doors open. So as you can see, I'm in the shower, and the way I've got those chains lengthened, the curtain hangs just into the pan, just enough. So to use the shower, what I do is I've got, I reach over here, and I grab this guy, and it's got, I think it's a 6-foot length of hose. I rinse off, soap up, and rinse off again, and that is it. So I also have the benefit of only using the hot water. And the reason is because there is an on-demand hot water heater there. It's propane, and that is the thermostat. So I lower it in the summer and raise it in the winter so that it's nice and toasty or not too hot. And that's the way it works. So yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm not going to burden you with watching me take a shower. That would be disgusting. So I am going to shower though. And while this is still wet, I'm going to show you how I sort of break things down and get it ready to dry out. So I'll see you when I'm clean. All right, well, I'm clean, shaved first, which I didn't show anything about, which, no big deal. So I shaved, and then I took a shower. I think that whole process has taken me about 10 minutes. And you got to get everything staged. The worst thing to do is forget the towel, which is now hanging up here. We're not done with it yet, though. So we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, if I don't remember my towel, that really sucks. Because then I got to, well, it's like having the towel across the bathroom or whatever. It's the same thing, only just I have such a small area to live in that getting it wet really is a bummer. So we remembered the towel, we remembered everything. I do stage the soap and the shampoo and everything before I get going. That way I'm just ready to reach out and use it. Other than that, everything is done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I break the shower down. Well, at least get it ready to dry. So one of the things that we got lucky with was the fan is inside of the shower curtain. And we thought, well, I wonder if that'll help dry it. And it certainly does, especially when you're in the West, man. This thing is super thin. It dries out really, really quick. In the humidity, it's a little bit longer, but long story short, it certainly came into play, and you'll see that in just a minute. But I'm going to show you first how I dry up and get rid of all this and get it ready to turn the fan on. So let's just quickly go through the motions here and put this thing back together like so. And then we'll address the pan. Well, before we do that though, real quick, we're just gonna stash this all this stuff back out of the way. Get our squeegee ready, because that'll come into play in a minute. I always have a piece of paper towel stashed because that'll come into play on the shower pan below. So now what we'll do is we'll head to the floor. So it is a little bit labor intensive. I do got to get down on my hands and knees to do this. But what I do first is I wring out the excess water in the curtain. And you can probably see that there's some water pooled up. The van doesn't have to be perfectly level. It sure works better if it is. If it's off, if the van is up on this side, let's say it's up on this side, the shower curtain will kind of hang up and there will be a lot more water. Today there's not as much because I'm pretty damn level and everything was pretty stable. So I get that wrung out to the best I can and then just kind of hang on to it. And then I just get rid of this excess water to make the chamois process that much easier. When the van is off level, you'll get a pool in one corner or the other, which requires just a little bit more of this squeegee process. But that's kind of it right there. We're about as dry as we're going to get. And And then here's that paper towel. And the reason I do this, you get a little bit of hair and whatnot. And I don't want to build that up in the chamois. So just do that. Okay, then I start out with the doors, because they do get a little wet here. And then I just go around the pan. First around, like so, and then into the pan itself. And we're almost done. That's about it, right? So that's all it takes for this part. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and bring you back upstairs, so to speak. All right, so we're just about done here. Roll this guy up, bring it out. Sometimes I'll even, oh, and that's the setting for the shower, by the way. You can have it on the shower like so, and then that's the way I use it for normal. And every now and then, especially as these chamois start to age, I'll rinse them out with a little fresh water. So you can do that. About every 6 months or so, I just buy a new one, because these things start to get a little funky, a little slimy. They just don't work as good. They don't dry out as well. They're like $9, so bit of an expense. But yeah, you just wring it out, stash it away, and use it later. So then, last but not least, I talked about the fan, and I have a max air fan now. So I'm going to turn it on, and the air is going out, which means it's pulling the air out of the van. Well, we don't want that. We want the air in. So I redirected it. It's at 20%. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on up to 100. And then this guy, you can see it, just blowing in. Air's coming in through the fan, inside of the curtain here. Voila. And that, I hope, is a decent demonstration of the shower. I take a shower every day. I have 2 pieces of unsolicited advice for anybody building a van, and that is get the biggest water tank you can get and the biggest sink that you can get. You won't be sorry. I've got 36 gallons of water, and I shower every day. It takes me, I mean, literally between 12 and 15 minutes, that whole process, shaving and showering, and I just couldn't live without it. It's awesome. Some days it's, not very inviting to shower. Like a couple of days ago, actually, it was so gloomy and cold, and I didn't do any biking, nothing real physical, just driving that day, so I actually didn't take one. And honestly, I really wish I had, because I just don't sleep as good without a shower. But that's kind of it. That guy will be dry in about 10 minutes or so, 15 at the most. And I have a trick to put everything away if it's not dry when I need my space back. Otherwise, I let it go all the way. So what I'll do is I'll just let it dry. I'm going to read a book, and while that's drying, and then when it's done, I'll put it all away and show you that too, and then hopefully put you out of your misery, and this video will be over. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, and this is just still a little damp. So in lieu of letting it go all the way, I'm going to show you my little trick that if I need to get my space back, I can still put this away. It won't be kind of gnarly, and I can, put the grate and the rug back down and have my home back. So let's do that. Let's get this guy undone. And you can see that this the towel is still drying out. That'll take a lot longer. Sometimes I'll even put my little fan and aim it up at the towel, but generally I'll just let it dry out overnight and then put it away in the morning. But the trick that I'm going to show you in order to keep this wet spot from being shoved inside is this. We'll go like so, and I'll just take the tail and hang it out over that and let it dry the rest of the way. Take these chains back down, put them away, lower the fan down, change it back to air out, and then I'll actually just shut it off because I don't need the fan at all tonight. I'm in Washington State. I do want the hood open. That's one of the weird features of this, is when you turn it off, the hood shuts. There's no way to turn the fan off without turning or shutting the hood, so you got to reopen it manually, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, I don't need the fan tonight because I'm in Washington, and it'll be chilly, which is perfect for van life. And what I do is just set this guy back down, grab my rug, my throw rug, and I got little marks on the ground, well, the shower pan in general. I'll show you all that real quick. I just stage it so it's just covering that, and then all I need to do then is just boink, like so, and we're back in business. And that is the shower in my van. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I did, well, you already saw it. I did take a little video of me in the shower. I didn't think it was too weird or too stupid. So that was kind of interesting, actually, to see it from the outside. It was kind of well, I'll just leave it at that. But long story short, that's the shower. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can go to the About page and find my email address, and you can email me. You can ask me in the comments, whatever you need to get a hold of me, and I will be glad to take any of your questions and help you the best of my ability to with your van build. So hope you're having a good day. Hope you enjoyed the first video about components in the van, and I'll see you in the next one.